Hey there guys, I'm Danks564 and this is continuation of our Let's Play of Legends of Eisenwald, and I actually reloaded a little bit earlier and I just added some potions that I had or I bought. I also bought some, like, a new hat for her and this staff, I think. Yeah. And for him I bought a better horse. Yeah, and I replaced the potions that I had but for some reason didn't equip. So there's that. She looks quite impressive with her new stuff, actually. So that's good. There are also some deserters over there, which we probably will be able to take, even with 3 of us, without too much trouble. So why don't we go and do that? How far are we? We're probably very far from him. He's about, what? Less than 300. She's probably the closest one to leveling up, and she's like the highest level, so I don't think she upgrades herself. It says level 1. Maybe she like internally increases her abilities, maybe. That'd be pretty cool. But he still can upgrade to... I'm probably like leaning towards the paladin, but I don't know, maybe I'll go for a knight. Yeah, probably paladin. Well, depending on how story goes, right? If it makes sense to have like a paladin, I probably will go with paladin. If we like it, we probably will encounter more vampires and undead and stuff. Where the hell do you want? Why the hell do you want to meet us? Perhaps you have some spare gold that you want to share. Well, perhaps you want to die. Yeah. What a beast. How about I increase my... You know what, shoot him. She invigorated herself? Okay. How about, like, heal him a little bit? Okay. Well, fine by me. I think that's the end of it, right? Oh, come on. Nice, 17 experience. Like, just imagine how much difference would it make to be a knight in this game. Like, compared to her, he levels so much faster with his double attacks, and I should have picked a knight. I wanted to pick a knight, but you know, it was just after March 8th, so I decided to go with her. Anyways, there's a burned village here, and there are ruins. Ruins are empty, looks like. How about we look into the village? Pretty sure I can manage. I probably want to vigor her. Actually, I probably want to invigorate myself. I mean, by myself, I mean her. Okay, let's go with that. Yeah, because there are plenty of archers that they will probably start shooting me. Well, the thing is, like, there is no point in shooting this guy, because this guy will overkill him anyways, right? Wait a second. No. He will counter attack him with a sword. So we'll do something like that. Ow. she also has like the mass heal thing. Yeah, like this. 13 damage just from counterattack. Oh, come on! You bastards. That was way closer than I wanted it to be. Let's finish this guy off. How about mass heal? You bastard. That might be a problem. Finish him off so that he can actually go ahead and attack this guy. And they cannot damage him. So let's finish this guy off. Wasn't expecting to lose my enchantress. But well, all ends, so that ends well, right? Let's just go ahead and see what we can see here. I'm pretty sure there's nothing, because we'll probably see something. Yeah, it's clear. What do they have in the smithy here? Since we are here anyways, might as well check it out. Oh, why is that recommended course? Solid Pavis. I think I have that one. 410. I'll stick with mine. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have better everything. There's a tavern here. Is there any place where I can heal here? Well, let's check the tavern first. Traveler story, lady, help me to catch our foul beast. Sure, just let's start with rumors. There's a lot of rumors. Closet taxidermist from Brandenburg. I recently went east to Brandenburg in Langsdale and Winterberg. People talk only about some closet taxidermist. They say he used to be a hunter and made good stuffed animals, but then he realized it was much more profitable hunt people instead. One merchant swore by God that he spent a month in captivity in Klaus' gang until his relatives paid ransom. Generally, the taxidermist doesn't usually accept ransoms, so the merchant was rather lucky. So he says that if Klaus decides to smash and disembowel somebody, he first always says, the size is big and the color is suitable. And he said it in such a frightening way that the merchant immediately got deadly chills down his spine from those words. And I heard that the taxidermist will soon move our way. It seems he is running south to escape the barons of Brandenburg. First he was seen in Potsdam, then in Jotterberg, and now you say he was in Langsdale? That means that he's already crossed the Elbe. Soon he will reach Trevor. God forbid. Hell's windmill. Explain to me this, old time. Why does this windmill not far from Schiff turn its milestones for nothing? Although it's old, the wheels spin well in any weather. Meanwhile, I've never seen a carriage with grain stop there. You idiot, don't you know that it's cursed? That's why the windmill spins without the aid of the wind. The local miller was greedy as Faris? I don't know. And he once made a deal with the devil. According to the deal, the windmill would always spin, whether windy or not. People started to bring grain to the miller from all around. He became richer than the lord. But during that winter, the peasants had milled their grain at the windmill, went into their barns, and what do you think they found? All the flour had turned to ashes. The devil had tricked the miller. The miller was forced to leave his windmill. No one knows what happened to him. The windmill, however, still continues to spin. They also say the miller decided not to take the gold he had earned at the windmill with him. Who knew what it might have turned into? So he hid it in the windmill, and if anyone arrives at the windmill at night and knocks on the door, hoarse voice answers, "Why have you come?" Well, any normal person would take his heels at that, but some brave soul would answer to get the miller's treasure, and then the voice would say, "Well then, come inside and look for it." And that's all. No one has ever seen those brave souls. Two sisters. Here's another story for you. There once lived an old woman who had twin daughters. In Galrada and Ragnabolda. God, with such names, they probably weren't very happy. The names are bizarre, but bear in mind that their mother was a witch. Thus, she gave them witches' names, and she taught them her art of witchcraft. Both daughters grew up to be beautiful women, although there was no difference between them in appearance. Galrada was honest and tender, but Ragnabolda was shy and impulsive. It happened that they both fell in love with the same young man. This young man loved Galrada and did not much care for her sister. Ragnabolda envied her sister and decided, Raggy, she'll be Raggy, to curse and kill the man with her witchcraft. If you aren't mine, neither will you be another's. Inga guessed her sister's intention, but she could do nothing. There is no escape from evil spells. So Inga spoke to spirit spinners. It so happened that the local lord took the young man to service in his army, and the men set off to foreign lands with the soldiers. So far that Reggie spells could no longer reach and affect him. So far Reggie's spells could no longer reach and affect him. And then he settled down in those lands. So Inga saved her beloved at the cost of separation. Reggie didn't realize that it was her sister's doing, and she took a stronger dislike to all people in the world. She settled down in a hut by the swampland, earned a livelihood from dark magic. If angry people wanted to curse someone or sabotage somebody's crops, they went to her. Oh, how much the Christians suffered from her doings. She is an extremely old woman now, but she still lives in the hut. During the daytime she transforms into an owl and sleeps in a hollow, and at night she does her household chores in the hut, ties knots and boils poison. Forest beasts and vampires serve her. Why hasn't she been tied up and burned? More easily said than done. See, she has a sharp nose. She smells good spells a mile away. When she smells a pope or a monk nearby, she immediately hides in the forest. Go and try to find her. And without a pope or a holy man, well, people are afraid to take her. Who would want to become blind or humpback? So they still haven't delivered justice. Trumpeter's daughter. And have you heard what happened to the daughter of the Gunther, the trumpeter? Well, a young man called Leopold von Manfeld wanted to marry her. Handsome, but not rich. Gunther brushed him off, but his daughter, well, didn't. She was pregnant before long. Gunther got into his head to remove young Leo's head. Leo turned tail and ran. Gunther pursued him as far as Volnek, but there the Red Wolves, whom Leopold belonged to, beat him to death. And so the pregnant daughter remained with Gunther's brother, Jonas, and he understandably decided to get rid of the baby. For who would need a half-blood among his kin? And either he was in a hurry or was squeamish about killing the baby with his own hand, but anyways, he decided to kill the baby before it was born, so he contacted a witch. After listening to his pathetic story, which promised that she would do everything, and asked him to come to come next day. When Jonas came the next day, she said to him, "You villain intended to kill somebody else's child, now you will carry a burden on you. You'll watch over the child's life as if it were your own." And she told him that there are spirits in charge of all people's fates, those who walk the earth as well as those who haven't been born yet, and they all know how their fates interlace. She called on the spirits to tie the fates of Jonas and his nephew, so that if the baby dies, so would Jonas. Jonas, of course, was furious. He wanted to cut the witch down with his sword. When he looked again, he saw that there was no witch before him, only a poker with a dirty apron draped over it. He spat and left the hut. And what did Jonas really believe the witch's words? Or did he harm the baby? Whether he believed them or not, I don't know, but he apparently didn't want to risk it. After his niece gave birth, he sent her to a nursery, and when the cart was leaving through the gates, the baby was with her. I saw so myself. Philip the Reaper. Well, what times are we living in? Not only do men of Rothwald come without an invitation, but also daredevils of all kinds swarm up like flies to dung. I heard Klaus the taxidermist will soon visit us, and Philip the Reaper is already here. I know about about Klaus, but I've never heard about Philip before. Who would that be? Everybody knows. A night beggar. He's never had his own land, which is why he earns his living by doing different tasks for payment. Sometimes he even catches robbers, but usually he knocks out debts, and that's why he's called the Reaper. That's what people say about him. One townsman called him to knock out a debt from his neighbor. The Reaper came to the neighbor, who then told him, "I have neither money nor goods enough. I can't pay all the debt. You can even take my head off." And Philip answered, "Well, I can't return empty-handed to my employer. I will do as you said." Then he really cut off the debtor's head. After that, he returned to his employer, threw it at his feet, and said, "Take the goods." Townsman went pale all over and said, "What have you done, pagan? I didn't ask you for that. Leave quickly, I won't pay you for murder." Philip answered, "Yes, you will. Moreover, you'll pay me twice the sum for the trouble, or else I take the payment the same way I did with him." Well, what else was to be done? He had to pay the Reaper. What a story, but what the hell is he doing in Trevor? They say he's here looking for something. Nobody seems to know what. He mostly hangs around in the lands of Kleines City and Japan. They don't really welcome him, but they have more pressing business to attend to than clash with his kind. Paganist and the Pagan Shrine. Have you heard the latest news? These pagans have rolled out of every corner like cockroaches. You should smash them. Squash the foul imps. What harm have they done to you? Have they sickened your pigs or something? They certainly did, I'll wager. They came by to my neighbor's farmstead at daybreak and whispered to the pigs, turned them all mad. And in the morning the neighbor runs out of the house, all shook up, and curses everyone in this world. Seems their spell worked out after all. You're just as mad as the pagans. They're all mad. Every year they organize a shrine in the forest, and it coincides with the harvest time. They light their fires and dance naked about them. Truly, I should at least once go there and see for myself. Abstomen, don't go there. They say they even mate with wild animals. Well, won't that be a sight? What did you say they meet again? Are you mad? Make a vote, not go there. Very well. May all my wine go sour if I ever think of going to one of those gatherings. And now tell me, where did you see them? Well, I heard them while I was walking along the south forest. So there I am at dusk, walking in a hurry until the sun sets. From the direction of the middle of the forest come shouts, screams, and howling of drums. Innkeeper, this beer is horrible. It's so bitter you could curdle milk with it. Okay, now, traveler's story. Recently I came back from East Rockland. It's a wild place. They're quite deadly. I don't recommend for anyone to go there. What's so dangerous there? If a place is really that bad, neither a rogue nor wild animal would settle there. A wild animal needs to eat something too. An animal needs. And a man needs. Especially the man is alive. No, East Rothland is now not scary because of animals and not because of men. And then what? Tell me all the details. Well, if you must know, then listen carefully. Once rich old Count of Rothwald married a young and very beautiful girl from an impoverished family. He loved her dearly, though he dreaded she did not feel the same. Tortured by fear and jealousy, he would not sleep for fear his wife would go to a lover. And so one day the Count made a deal with demons. He sold them his country of forests and fields and beautiful meadows. In exchange, Satan freed him from the need of sleep. The eyes of the Count now wouldn't need to close even for a moment. Then the Count died. To the horror of everyone, his eyes did not even close after death. They tried to force his eyelids shut, but nothing helped. So in the end, they buried him with his eyes wide open. But even in death, the Count did not rest. At night, he left his crypt, and together with his troops, he patrolled his possessions, with his eyes lit internally with baleful light. Some people say that if one looks into his eyes, in the eyes of the sleepless Count, he will lose his mind. Others say that those who have the courage to withstand his gaze will see in his eyes all the answers to all their questions. But even with death, death of the Count, this story did not cease. The land which was sold to Satan stopped giving crop. Nothing grows except dead trees. Their withered leaves and grey bark grew like their living cousins. People soon left, and for many years no one had settled there, and people are even afraid to pass through. In East Rossland, there has been no rule to this day, and tales of these lands are told all over the duchy. Also, because of these stories, wives jokingly call their jealous husbands sleepless Counts. Ah, now I understand. Yes, I understand why it's better to not go to East Rossland. I can see why my neighbor Haman is called Sleepless Count. He refuses to take his eyes off his wife, no matter whether day or night. One night he ever beat the elder senseless for pinching her bottom when he was drunk. Yes, help. Some kind of werewolf, it seems. Looks like you've had one too many. I knew a drunk he used to see imps. I would have laughed at such story myself, but not after this beast tore my wife to pieces. A month ago, I was coming back home in the evening. I fell off my horse and lost consciousness. I spent a horrific night on the road and returned only by morning. And when I returned, my beloved was torn apart. Frightened servants told me about a huge grey beast that looked like a wolf and had devilish strength. It jumped into the window of my mansion, and the servants couldn't stop it. Apparently it tore through two of them as though it was nothing. My duty is to catch the beast. I've already sent my cousin, Inquisitor Dustin, in Lichstad. I'm sure he'll know a way to deal with an evil creature like that. But I want to waste my time. I must try to capture the beast. But I'm sure I won't be able to do it on my own. Help me and my reward will be generous. The hunt must be started at night. That's the time when the beast prowls. Search in search of victims. Come to my mansion near Fabergaus when the bell strikes, the beginning of the final service of the day. I'll mark it on your map. Okay. Yeah, we need a heal. So this one is right over there. Notes. Lost taxidermist. Cursed windmill. Two sisters. Good witch. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Oh no, it's not Klaus the taxidermist, it's some jeweler. Klaus Homestead. Jeweler is well known through. No one dares to look face because his blind eyes break again gaze. Okay, whatever. Can I have no healing here? There is a mentioned here. Well, there is a really. Oh, there is a thing here. I need to go there. Good day, nobility. You have nothing to worry about while we're keeping order. Yeah, I just wanted to see. Okay. So, if we want to go to hunt the witch, apparently we'll need to drop the priest, right? But first, let's heal 194. Well, we're basically at where we started, but we gained some experience, and we still have some loot to sell. Okay, let's hire the acolyte, because why not? It's always useful. And right, this one goes to where we need to go, right? Yeah. As you enter the castle, you see a few men engaged in training. The young post commander is walking to and fro, assisting the participants with evident excitement. He calls a break. A few go to sit down, and others simply lean against the wall to catch their breath. You approach the commander. Greetings, I come from Chancellor Werner. I need to see Count Daniel. You're speaking to him. The Chancellor gave me advance notice about your visit, though he never told me your name. Elizabeth von Lehenstein. Didn't he tell you not to, tell your name at your service? Ah, I know that name. We'll need a new one, as that one has become rather notorious in these parts. And the enemy mustn't know that you arrived in our lands. Tell you the truth, and I hadn't considered that. Then, by all means, let us choose a new name for you right now. How about Sveltia the Avenger? No, that's too direct. How about something a little more subtle? Landgrave Enderlin is entitled Rothwald, meaning he comes from Red Forest. You should call yourself something like Holzfaller, a lumberjack. Okay, lumberjack. I'm no commoner to bear such a name. I'd rather call myself Red Huntress, Rotjager, for I will one day flay the one who lives in the Red Forest. Sounds great. And what first name will you choose? Juliana, as was my mother's name. So be it. Pleasure to meet you, Juliana Rotjager. Don't forget that is your name from now on. And now let's go to my chambers. We need to discuss circumstances that these lands are in. That these lands are in now. Okay. What do you offer? Do I want this guy? Or do I want another bowman? I probably want another melee character. And probably someone tankier, like him, to be able to protect her, and he will go over there. Okay. So, greetings, John. How goes your hunt? So why do we... About his skin? Tell the truth, I don't really like to boast of my descent or go through my lineage. There are much more interesting things to do. But I can't but mention there are quite... I don't really care. Oh, the situation maybe? In Trevor? So I've got to tell you like that. The Landgrave sent one of his best men here. Rymek, also known as Weasel. He got his nicknames for destroying settlements and castle as easily as Woodle destroys his bird's nest. He managed to capture Castle Schwanz, a well-reinforced castle situated at the end of the mountain range. Why don't you gather local knights and fight him off? More easily said than done. The lords seem more worried about their own profits than interested in taking the fight to the true enemy. One of my liege men has even turned his coat, and now fights for the Landgrave. Jonas the Trumpeter from Rorengos took the Landgrave's side as soon as he had promised him the freedom to rob and kill whoever he wished. The Arthurs are just as bad. They fight each other for land and wealth like greedy children looking for candy. And it seems that is the Landgrave's plan, to have the liegemen come to him in order to resolve their problems, and in return promise him their allegiance. Alas, I have no time to settle their conflicts. Nowadays it's much more important to prepare for the siege and capture Castle Schwanz. No easy task. And one very decent lady was recommended to me to suppress the knights who had gone too far. This person, according to the Chancellor, has quite a lot of experience in such matters. I see. Indeed, this is not the first time I have stopped internal strife. I managed to do it in my own lands, so hopefully I can do it in yours. That's great. Let me know if, as soon as you manage to settle peace here. I'll head for Schwanz immediately. I hope you will accompany me in this campaign. I have one more question. Landgrave Enderlin set his army on the path to Trevor from the west without having captured the East Rothwald. Thus, Weasel was left unprotected from the rear. Do you have any idea why Landgrave must hurry so much? Indeed, that's a good question. I was fairly confused myself. I sent some spies to the enemy's camp, but they only managed to find out one thing. The Weasel and his men are looking for something. So far it's not clear what exactly. Perhaps it will be you who will be able to find it out. Except for me, not a living soul knows you're here. You're here. You can go to Weasel and call yourself a noblewoman, or a huntress of sorts looking for loot. He is likely to give you some task, and that will give you a threat that may lead you to an answer. A good suggestion, I thank you. You're always welcome, and if you happen to have some free time, we ought to take our minds away from grim matters and ensure the lineage. A game of wits. Or we could exercise with swords. Yes, you'll need some funds for a start. Take this purse. I'm sure it will come in useful. Okay. Say goodbye. And we got some money. Okay. So, establish order. Daniel spies inform that Landgrave men are looking for something. Okay, finding werewolf. Let's go and hunt some werewolves. First, I'm thinking. let's go maybe also visit the market. And maybe buy our guys some equipment. Yeah, you... Yeah, he cannot have anything really. Spiritual power. Well, let's buy you that at least. There isn't much here. There was a smithy there. I'm not sure if I'll be able to take on that, but maybe. First, let's go and buy my footman something to, you know, protect himself with before we take on that freaking werewolf. If it's even a real werewolf. So you... Really? There's nothing? Okay. Okay then. Let's go to the estate. And I think I'll make a cut here, and we'll continue in the next episode where we'll try to find and hunt the werewolf. Thank you guys for watching, hopefully you enjoyed it, and goodbye.